Hello, Blender folks, welcome and welcome back to this Gnomes. So, today we're gonna make an experiment, a rigging experiment that I've been willing to do this some time from now, maybe a few weeks from now, when Blender, yeah, about 1 month ago, when Blender 4.5 LTS was 0.0, right, was released. Finally, officially, the stable version, a stable version, right? So 15 July, so it's not exactly, yeah, this is more than 1 month ago, right? So there is a time here, timestamp, you can check in the video description of my stream. It is of this video that I'm making. Exactly here, there will be, let's just pause this video. There will be a good thing that perhaps would be revolutionary for rigging in Blender, organic rigging. So of course it's geometry nodes.
We will start with something new, set mesh normals. Now
so this node here, geometry nodes node, set mesh normal, is new in Blender 4.5 LTS. I have never used this. I already tried some Boolean geometry nodes for mount rigging, right? Cartoony mount rigging, like as a way to substitute the rig that I'm using currently, which is the universal sonic mount rig, with my own implementations, but it's still one of the bases is the universal sonic mount setup, which use shrink wrapping features. Here, we might still rely on shrink wrapping if we use this. This is, I think, how I used this before we had this. The problems that I've had when doing this previously, when with other experiments with geometry nodes, is that I wasn't able to, it was very laggish. Yeah, very sluggerish on the booleans that the booleans set up were making it very laggish, unfortunately. So it was sort of unusable, but sort of worked. I tried to address some shortcuts. So you could snap lips with a hole on top of a head, of a face. Yeah, so you could have this, but it's laggy. Especially I had some problems with armature modifiers on top of that, because the lips, they would deform, and the face, well, maybe the face would not deform totally. Yeah, we probably could make it non-deformable in some way, so maybe there are some interactions. So perhaps with this new version it is possible to make a setup with geometry nodes that works with rigging without these issues. I don't know, this might be a little magical thinking, but well, they've been updating lots of stuff, so maybe also maybe with this setup I can make it implies different aspects that maybe help solving some issues that I won't have to solve manually in other ways. So we'll see. So set mesh normal.
Store edge and mesh sharpness, edit existing tangent space normals, or create normals in the new free format.
Yes, so create normals in the free form.
Which can be much faster. What would it just be?
Point. Yeah, the
edge and mesh sharpness, edit existing tangent space normals, or create normals in the new free format, which can be much faster. What would it?
Hello, how is it going? Welcome, Sakigake Achazawa. Yes, I remember your name, yeah. So it's in hiragana now. Welcome, bro. How are you doing? Yes, I'm doing fine. Good stuff, new, resuming some streaming activity, and yeah, things are going well, or going for the better maybe now. I was stuck for a while. How about you? So here we're making this experiment. This is a 1.5 month ago, this release, right? Blender channel here. And here exactly at this time, there is this new
Just being a simple 3D.
geometry nodes feature that may help or may improve a setup for mouth rigging.
Vector. All of this new
Could be a game changer if I ever get this to work for mouth rigging the way I'm thinking, or somewhat how like that.
normal manipulation has incredible potential.
Yeah, okay, he says it has incredible potential, but isn't this just like a mesh data modifier, so that is not applied? So I doubt this is. Maybe it's better than that. Maybe it's less laggy. Maybe it does things differently. So let's see.
Example.
But it seems to be new. Otherwise, they wouldn't be publishing here without referring to those. But maybe they aren't because there's not enough time for that. So I'm not sure exactly how this works internally and if there is any difference, substantial difference to the data transfer modifier or the other methods. But let's see. So free face corner. Yeah, this looks like mesh data stuff, right?
If we create
Then there's some setup here.
custom normals for this Suzanne
Okay, so I have a monkey Suzanne, let's say the face, right? And then
taking her normals and mixing
by taking her what?
them with normals for this Suzanne, by taking her normals and
By taking her normals, all right. The other mesh that is start to build a setup here.
mixing them with normals
Normal B, what is normal A? Vector uniform clamp.
sampled from the nearest surface of a second object.
Okay, a second object, then info object that's here we can tag a different object. Then geometry, mesh, sample nearest surface, normal value, vector, then here to B, and this probably goes to A, yes, okay. Sample nearest, okay, so this will try to track in real time, so it is procedural, right? The sample nearest surface, yeah, which will be this one, right, the face. Then A and B, normal will change the
control the mix's factor with the distance between the two. We can create
okay, so you're not really understand, but something about an average thing.
a smooth transition between
And then it connects with the mix. This is still this other object. And where is the, okay, this is the first object. Okay, and then custom normal. Okay, then we have a custom normal because of these geometry nodes. So that will change the normals based on all this stuff here. So there's the one object here, which its purpose, well, one of its purpose, it was to affect the normals directly of the other object.
between the two meshes without changing their topology.
Okay, so this is very good. We can do something like that already. We could, right? But without or with geometry nodes, but the results, not sure. Maybe this is better. Maybe this is less sluggish. I said that there's no shrink wrapping involved here. So this could be a more interesting thing because we might not really need the shrink wrapping for the mesh itself. We could use the shrink wrap because we have this feature here. Never thought about that. I could have tried this before if I had this idea, but you say that the approach here doesn't use any shrink wrapping, I think. So it's just the proximity, it's just the normals that get customized here, while the two objects collide, right, or get proximity to it, to themselves. Then we could shrink wrap a bone if this is the mouth, the lips, right, with a hole, right? Let's say the lips have create a hole with a boolean, okay, because it's a mouth, so it's more complicated. Okay, but we wouldn't need the boolean to unify the mesh because this would be doing something like boolean. So indeed, that could be less heavier. However, then we'll have to carve a mouth with a boolean anyways, probably. I don't know if this could, yeah, this probably, so it's like kind of tricky, but we could have like okay, so anyways, the idea, if we can do this as a mouth part already that is flowing, so what I mean, that mesh object here could be then it could have a shrink wrap bone constraint, so it's a master bone, and the bone itself is shrink wrapped to a ghost or to a proxy mesh of the muzzle or the face or the lower face, whatever, and then the shrink wrapping will just occur. The fact that the mouth will follow the shape of the muzzle or the lower face will be because of a non-deformed bone that will be following, and not because of shrink wrapping the mesh. So we will not be overwhelming the system, the setup with more shrink wrapping, right? So this could, but we might have to overwhelm it with a boolean that will carve the mouth. The mouth of the, yeah, there are other problems, but with this approach that we're gonna see. I think it could be more economical.
Now, you may have noticed that some of your favorites have suddenly got very skinny. Well, the same thing has happened with geometry nodes too. The geometry sockets on nodes like these.
Okay, so this is just this. There's just this thing. So we're gonna try to build this right now. Okay, so let's get the soundtrack. So this shouldn't take too long because it's a simple setup. It was exposed just like that, very didactical. And so probably need a new file here. So I'm gonna just save a copy here because no, we're gonna just save as. We're gonna make a experiment. Yeah, generator knows mouth rig experiment. Yeah, because here I can brick everything. It wouldn't matter. Okay. So I'm gonna test directly in the mesh here because we got some features, but probably I'll have to disable some stuff. This probably will cause some trouble, some issues, but we're gonna try it anyways. And if nothing works, we try the simple. Also, the good thing about this is that if it lags, you already see that it will have a problem, a critical problem. Because here you have a rig, right? But anyways, I have to make yeah, so we're gonna pick these lips. We're gonna expand it and we're gonna Shift D, P. We're gonna separate the mouth. Then we're gonna delete these lips here, and we're gonna we're gonna connect this. We're gonna smooth this. Shift D 0.3. Yes, this here the shapes don't really matter. All right. So of course you have armature modifier, all that. So what we have here is that we have simple mouths that we can deform, right? It is shrink wrapping, right? So we don't want this shrink wrapping, so we're gonna delete everything here, maybe except the yeah, there's a mirror, so this is just an object like that. And you see, you have to make a boolean to carve the. Maybe we'll need to have an invisible object also. So this one, maybe this one doesn't boolean anything. It's a bit tricky to get all these ideas together, but okay. So you have lips here, and we see where the yeah, let's make some. Let's get this face here. Let's expand this. So see, there's some part of skin here. So just gonna try to. Yeah, and just because we can, we're gonna also make some subdivision here. There's some shape key, yeah. The shape key is because of we have an anatomic lips here, so we're gonna ignore the. We're gonna just use the lips on its base form. That is very simple, so we're not without the shape key, although it would be beneficial. We can test with the shape key later on. It's very simple, so let's just make sure that these are it's okay to distort a little this mesh, right? Yeah, let's try first with this, right? Okay, so right now nothing is happening special, so you just have there's nothing, you have just some shrink, just that. Okay, it's because what's happening is because the yeah, let's take the simplify on actually. What's happening is that these bones, the bones that deform the lips, they are themselves shrink wrapped, I guess. Yeah, so I have some shrink wrapped bones, especially these controllers. Let's see the tweakers. I need to investigate just to remember here how this was set. Yeah, so all the tweakers, they are shrink wrapped, right? So that's why the mesh is sort of stuck. But because, well, the mesh is not stuck actually now because. Wait, how how I can? Oh, because it's outside. Okay, so I can push the lips outside. Okay, but the mesh is not shrink wrapped. You see, so we can fix that later on. But this is the problem is not right this because we can make some tests immediately with the setup. So we want to see if the I'll need the subdivision surface also. We'll need some shading. Yeah, so you see crazy normals, nothing good there, right? So probably we need to okay, anyways, there are many things that needs to be taken into account. So we're gonna create the geometry nodes onto the Yeah, so about here, let's add geometry nodes. Gonna bring it before the subdivision, maybe. I'm gonna get it here. Alright, so now we're gonna start to copy the... So here is the lips, right? Or mouth, let's just call it mouth, right? But the geometry node is on the face, right? So we're gonna... Okay, so first I think is the set normal, set mesh normal. Yeah, that's it. Then we need to get the free point. Then, okay, then we need to recall object info. Need to recall the other object, which will be the mouth. Then we relative or original, I'm not sure. So here is part more complicated, so I'll have to look again. Normal mix, okay, mix, vector mix, sample nearest surface, okay. Mix, no, not this mix. Mix vector, I think there's one, right? Vector uniform. Yes, A and B, then sample normal index nearest surface, right? Yeah. And we have, okay, relative, okay. Then we go to mesh. And here, set normal. No, just normal. No, not this one. It's an input. Oh no, it's that. Yeah, it's this. It's the same thing. It has two sockets indeed. Okay, actually this gets...
sampled from the nearest surface of a second object. Then, with normals sampled from the nearest surface of a second object.
The color is different there, but I think this is... That should work, yeah. Sample nearest, yeah, it's the same vector. Oh, vector, of course. Now it's blue. All right. And then
control the mix's factor with the distance between the two. We could...
because geometry proximity, map range. Okay, saving here. Probably what has... Okay, just a subdivision here. Faces.
and create a smooth transition.
Float linear clamp. 0, 0 from, all right, from minimum 0, value 1, no value is be substituted, distance. Well, I'm assuming they've expanded this, right? Yeah, there's just this one, so it should be this one, yeah. And then here, result will go to factor. Very weird. I don't... Some mask thing, like in shading. It will be either normal, so it will be either sample nearest surface of this object or the normal that the normal of this object, either one or the other, based on the distance, or it's some sort of mix thing. I don't know what this factor is doing here.
The two meshes without changing their topology.
Okay, and then mix. Let's see if apparently something has changed. All right, already something has happened. We might require a better object to test this, right? And a better shader. Let's see. This seems mostly seamless, at least from that part. Let's see. If I take this off. Actually, I just need to mute this. Aha. So indeed, this is doing some job already. Although it sort of seems to mess other stuff, but okay. The bone won't really help in the... what I need is to... Okay, so I think we can do something like this now. We can actually... Yeah, I need to sort of shrink wrap. Let's do some Alt-B here. I'm gonna make a shrink wrap here still, like just for this one. So I'm gonna shrink wrap. Of course, this will cause some trouble. I think I need to shrink wrap the whole thing. Yeah, so it will be a... So it will be the proxy. And but offset, we're gonna... outside surface. Right, we want to push this. Yeah, I know the value there is this one, but we're gonna, because of this, we're gonna push here a little more just so we can see what we are doing. So we're gonna get this one. And as for the vertex group, we're gonna get on edit mode here. And we're gonna we're gonna change this. Yeah, I need a vertex groups here. We're gonna create so. Yeah, so mount. Just mount, yeah. So here we're gonna assign the maybe. This one will be maximized, right? These ones will be like 0.9. We need to see in real time. We need to get here. Okay, then this one we're gonna assign like save 0.7 maybe. And then yeah, this one we can assign 1. Not that this is required, but okay. Oh, no, not 1. Actually, let's leave it behind this. We require another shrink wrap. We cannot do a negative value here. So, yeah. We could do this trick, but no, we're gonna do little by little here. So this one will be on top. Wait. This is not what I need to do. Sorry. The thing here is different. Actually, we need to shrink wrap in a negative of value. Like, let's do something like this, right? And so all this mesh will do like yeah, and this will give like 0.5, I think. They will be... No, I'm doing the... It's different, it's the opposite, so... These ones need to be larger. And this needs to be pushed lesser, I guess. Yeah, now, now I'm getting confused. Okay, but anyways, we in the worst case scenario we do a different. Okay, so it's not shrink wrapping for some reason. On surface, okay, now it is doing its job, but it's not that. So maybe. Okay, so this we need to rethink this. Maybe need 2 or more. So what I want is, yeah, I remember. Okay, so I'm gonna make on surface, but we're gonna do a negative. And then we're gonna remove everything. Then we're gonna snap first this one. This one will be slightly lower. Okay, so that means that this will always be on surface. This one as well, yeah. Or actually remove. Yeah, the problem is that now these are not really contributing for the normals effect, or are they? Looks like there's no contribution here to the... Maybe I need to set this... Okay, let's try to take this off. Maybe this is conflicting. Okay, I've reset everything here about this object. The armature is not helping. It's really hard to visualize here the effect. Let's try to do expand those faces a little more. Make something more crazy here. Just so that we can see the effects a little better. Yeah, but it's not... Okay, shrink wrap. No, not this one. Okay. Um, there are some very critical distortions in the... Okay, apparently I broke some stuff. Let's apply the mirror modifier. Oh, there's shape keys. Okay, let's... whatever. Well, it is not giving me that that seamless effect. Let's check here. So this is why this thing, yeah, maybe we need to apply this too. Maybe we need to ignore the subdivision surface. Oh yeah, there's a problem here with the this shouldn't affect, but I can never be sure because I have the target of shrink wrapping. All this mesh should be present in the nope, never mind. Okay, so because I've deleted, but anyways, very strange stuff going on. Maybe this is the UVs. No, okay, let's delete the materials. Still not. Okay, you have some very corrupted mesh, but subdivisions, shrink wrap, we're not gonna use the shrink wrap, so let's try to reset here, normals, reset vex. And again, let's check. So yeah, no effect. So maybe something is broken. I couldn't reproduce this, but it at some point it seemed to have some effect. Here is not really doing anything. I've removed everything. Maybe there are some bad interactions with the rest, but it wasn't clear in the video if there was subdivision surface modifier in this. I think no, it wasn't. So for a moment it seems to have worked. Let's try to create this with another object and let's see just what happens. And let's just change the target here. strangely, I see not any change here suddenly. Yeah, indeed, something is changing. So apparently the subdivision yeah, just the color is changing. Not sure why. The normals, yeah, the normals are changing, but they are not adapting really. Maybe this process to work. Maybe we need to change these values here. Change the distance. Let's subdivide first. This is very heavy now. Yeah, so it seemed like that in the mesh of the objects were really smooth, something like that. So this is not gonna be good for 3D animation, right? Of characters. It seems like there is some attempt of something is happening indeed. Like let's see if when they get the same materials. Except that I've deleted. Yeah, let's create. Actually, let's get, I don't know. Eyelashes, let's, now this material. Let's reduce these subdivisions. It's already reduced. Sharp edges, custom normal detect disable. Yeah, if the subdivision comes after, it will possibly override the effect. Okay, so trying this just with the geometry nodes. Yeah, and unfortunately I don't see any. Yeah, so maybe this is really meant to have to work better with anyways, folks, the thing is that let's try with this one too. Um, and let's go back here and now this one seems to have worked. Well, not that much, but yeah, some still seems to be clipping. Let's yeah, solve this, and let's augment the subdivisions. Let's smooth everything. Maybe this helps. And also let's augment some lights here. There's a glitch, which a bug with shadows here. They are trying to solve this. Environment here. No, not here. Anyways. Okay, just so that we can spot things better. Even if this, yeah, so this will cause some, this will solve the seeming problem or attempt to solve the seeming problems. Yeah, of separated lips or mouth part. All right, this can be good, but of course this will not be sufficient for this solution. But this is this welcomed, right? This is welcomed. So I think this I wasn't able to achieve before. So although there could be some ways, right, like trying to mimic the effect of a, but you see there are still some seams which seem to occur. Ignore the shadings there. I'll need to do this on a completely different model, right? Not this one that might be corrupted mesh stuff. A lot of stuff to readdress. So apparently we can have some seamless things, right? And this is welcomed, but this could be the difference between using a solution like that or not. The other problem is that we'll still need to okay, maybe this is better for seeing. All right. Yeah, so you see there are still some occasional seams, but I think I see the effect working there. And also I have made changes to the thing, so maybe you can, maybe there's some precision that we can Oh yeah, we can sort of regulate. Interesting. Okay, so I believe this can work actually, but then there is of course the problem of the mouth hole. Okay, so that will be a Boolean thing, right? And we would need to have like okay, that's a armature modifier to the okay, so the lips are probably still working, right? This could cause some terrible. Okay, so there's crazy interactions. Yeah, probably because of some waves there, but okay, we see what's happening here. Okay, you see that here it seems to. This is very dirty, but okay. The fact is that we seem to be able to reach some quality in it. So this is actually interesting because you see the deforms, and that is the line of the surface of the different objects as it gets invisible behind. So we can see we can spot where the junctions are, right? The not the collisions, where they, yeah, where they tend to merge, right? Of course, when the lips here not doing like that, we want, but the lips are not disconnected like that. Actually, they are. The lips corner is somewhere around. Okay, anyways, but you see, for the top and the bottom and the side, yeah. So it seems to indeed be a mouth that is. Then we have some crazy glitches which the something that I cannot really explain what's happening. Maybe this is not. Yeah, the normals are moving. This creates. Yeah, so there's bad real-time interaction. The normals have to adapt, right, in real time. This can be really a problem then. A real time, because rigging needs to be real time, right, for the animation. But maybe this is still manageable if I restart from scratch with a proper rig, right? Then there is the problem of the boolean. The problem of the boolean is, so this doesn't seem to lag too much, although I had to delete the subdivision surface modifier. So okay, one problem is that I really want this that part of the lips to go back, and for this I'll need a shrink wrap with that same, right, mouth. Let's select all and remove, right? Yeah, it doesn't need to be like that. Okay, let's yeah, probably this will be a serious mistake. Let's delete some stuff here. Yeah, let's just give yeah, sign. Let's do the some more conventional way here. Okay, so this means that this will shrink wrap with the melt. We're gonna leave it inside and we're gonna target the... Oh, I've deleted the proxy. No. Okay, no problem. We're gonna create it again. Alt S. Yeah, Alt S negative 0.002, all right, something like that. And we're gonna... Well, where was that created? Oh, I need to separate it, of course. Okay, so target this and inside 0. Yeah, maybe even below it. Yeah, that's it doesn't seem to... Some words are not... Ah, I need the... Of course, I need the... No? Strange. Alright, so let's... Maybe the inside is wrong. Let's try on surface. It's like it's left inoperative. Strange, yeah, it's like it's not respecting anything here. Some no, it's not some... Okay, anyways, let's ignore the shrink wrap since it doesn't seem to work. So that would be one issue, right? The other, of course, is the boolean. So carving a hole respecting the shape of the lip is not actually so difficult, but it can lag, and this is the problem. So of course I cannot use the same object. I need to have these lips. Yeah, they were applied, right? So I need to find the hole. Okay, let's isolate this. The same mesh here will deform, right? Let's see what is the... It will be much simpler if I didn't have this. Okay, so here I'm gonna shift D P selection. So this will be melt hole. So this is like the but it needs to be actually a closed object. Great fuel, all right. And we're gonna flip, and then we're gonna yeah. So as weird as this is, of course we could expand it, but let's like push this forward. But this should be sufficient because we don't want to really affect the lips with this. We want actually to, yeah, this is the lips. It doesn't matter what we could even, yeah, we might delete this part of the lips. I'm not sure because it will depend what this will do, right? But okay, well, let's leave it for now. And okay, then we need to de-isolate this stuff, and then we need to now get this thing. It has the same deformers, right? So that means that if we just check the armature and this, you see it's deforming just like the, yeah, except that this one will have, because yeah, it's a duplicate. So what we do here is that we're gonna use a boolean here to cut I'm not sure if I think it's not in neat. I think the boolean needs to be actually on the face. Yeah, we could create it on the as geometry node, but we're gonna, I think it's not, this is difference, and there's this manifold. I think it's faster. It will be better if we had a easier way to test this, but right now, just to never know what is the, so it's clearly not doing the right job, right? Cannot execute non-manifold inputs. Okay, I think exact. I think this is normal stuff. It's crazy, right? Float is the, oh yeah, it is super lagging. So just to get some, in principle, this, and this it'll end up crashing Blender. And I don't even have an armature modifier here. Let's delete this. Yeah, this is not causing the, let's try a boolean with a simpler object, right? So maybe we need to make this boolean with a much simpler object in the end. Yeah, maybe it's crappy as collisions, right? Let's get a cube. And let's make it wire. Let's save. So let's get this to, yeah, maybe before the geometry node. So oh yeah, so we are able to, so you see the leg here? Nothing to do with subdivision. I got the simplify on. And it's a cube, but it takes a lot instead of something more complex. Like the mouth hole mesh, it has a lot of subdivision, but just a cube on top of this mesh here already. Well, maybe we can do something faster. Yeah, so this float is a bit faster. Seems to get the job done, right? Manifold. This is not working. Not sure how. Yeah, so this lags a lot. Probably not worth even trying this stuff. Yeah, ouch. This is... Yeah, so this hasn't changed, right? Let's delete this, will be easier. In the sense of the Boolean thing, it doesn't matter if it's done by geometry nodes or the Boolean side geometry nodes, or at least in my computer, with my rigs, right? It's just not coordinating well enough. So at least, well, we could say that okay, let's copy this to the mouth hole here. It's oh no, no need. You just need to change the target, and but we're not seeing the hole for some reason. We need to assess where this object is. So this is why maybe we need to make this object a little... what's happening to these normals here? What's happened to that face? It got completely... crazy. I don't know what happened to some... anyways, it's still flat, I guess. Rather use some I applied some effect that crushed it in these ways. Oh yeah, it's just smoothing, so probably I have wrongly smoothed it. There we go. So a lot of it was just a... It's not normal thing. It's a normal thing. Okay, so here we got where is the hole? So this is why we need the... Yeah, let's just ignore those things. There are too many problems. So the boolean, okay, so where is the melt hole? Okay, so it's not really respecting the, no, no, it is there, exactly there. It is respecting the deforms, but we would like to, so to do this, we need faces. Yeah, it will be hard. Let's keep it the way the selection we had, and maybe just push this like here. And so we have a, protruding structure there, which would be, of course, okay, of course, you need to see it as a wire. There we go. Oh, that was, I forgot to make it as a wire. Yeah, that's, so it was always in front, sorry, folks. So here we're gonna, yeah, I need this mark seam, select by seam, yes, why not? I forgot one. Oh yeah, the other side. There's no mirror modifier, so this is super annoying. As messy as this is interesting. Uh, we see some, I was able, at least myself, I was able to see that this seeming thing, and it's like it is not very simple. It doesn't seem to work on all times, but sometimes it worked for unknown reasons. Now we go. So here we're gonna, so it's like GC. Yeah, no, just this is enough. Okay. There is something inside, I think. Oh, it's this one, right? I also need to make it. Okay, this is as wire. This is like that. So, okay, this doesn't have, okay, we need, this is not being booleaned correctly. This should cause, yeah, so it's having some issues regarding the booleanization. If we place the, maybe this makes any difference. Let's see how. Yeah, there's many glitches, but I don't know what's really going on there. This could be made by geometry nodes, but the results are a little sluggish and okay, very unexpected results. Okay, this is very good. So there needs to be really tested in a simpler, much simpler Cartoony model, or maybe have a spherical stuff and all that, and then starting to complexify and see if there's any potential for this. The problem, armature interaction, armature modifier interacting with all this tends to make things even more complicated. Apparently this, so maybe this we need to, yeah, so because of all these complications, folks, well, maybe it's me, I'm not, but all the time, every time that I try to mix armature modifier with geometry nodes and all that, and booleans, is always the same story. Like it gets laggy at some point, especially the boolean. It's very hard. It's actually not trivial at all. Maybe I need to change some approach, but you see we need to carve a hole. If otherwise, how you gonna put the, yeah, right? Or no, we also couldn't, we need some intersection, because even if the mouth bag existed with this stuff, right? No, not this stuff, the lips, right? Even if the mouth bag existed with that, we'd still need to make this part of the mesh transparent. But Blender needs to identify what is this. It is the mesh that is not necessarily carved, but it is it's not a topology. It can be a procedural topology, but I don't know if it's no. It's a mesh that would need to be identified, and usually the simplest way to identify is by cross section, right? Is by having a Boolean thing. So in the case of the Boolean, it detects and actually does the job, right? But you see, there are some bad interactions with the right. And if the face is transparent, the lower face, then okay, then what do you do? Sorry. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe if the lower face was the whole mouth thing and it glued, and yeah, this is weird, right? Then it will glue on a transparent thing, so we will be moving not just the mouth and the lips, but the mouth and lots of parts of the lower face. They will maintain the shape, probably through shrink wrapping, and would adapt seamless to, yeah, so maybe I need more thought, but yeah, not very impressed with this setup. So apparently this is not yet very well conceived for the intricacies of using that for rigging something more complex with armature deform. I don't think this was well thought enough. Maybe it's not a challenge for me, so at least I have tried once again, and I barely scratched the surface. And already I see a lot of problems. So basically, it's not it would require a lot of more clean research and test by test. I don't have time for that, unfortunately, but at least I have tested the feature in geometry nodes, right? Sounds good, but maybe for mouth rigging, maybe not for the mouth rigging I'm trying to do, maybe for other mouth riggings with more stylized characters. No, different approach, no, maybe not with Boolean, maybe with other techniques that I'm not aware of. There's probably many ways to approach this, but I'm out of ideas already. It took me that long to try this simple stuff, not that simple stuff in Mario, because I was afraid that it will be a waste of time. It will not work once again. It is always tricky, especially in the way I'm trying to do, right? It involves plenty of layer of things, right? Okay, folks, thanks for watching. Hope that was useful. Maybe you guys can test on your own for other rigs and your own rigs, and maybe you'll find better results. Please sure to find anything or that, but this was just an experiment. And I've learned something, but it is not far from conclusive. Thanks for watching, folks. See you another time, and take care. Happy blendering. See ya, Sakigaki. Thanks for being around. Have a nice weekend.